Well, good morning, my peeps. Heidi ho. Today's adventures in cooking include a batch of sugar-free chocolate chip cookies. I'm using the Victoria's Keto Kitchen, her most recent chocolate chip cookie recipe. This is her new standard keto flour 2.0, which is basically a mix of bamboo flour and what's that stuff? Almond flour, and then there's some other thing in it, I can't remember. So I usually mix this up in a big batch and use it, you know, for a few months. It keeps good in the freezer too. Keeps well in the freezer. Let me show you something about this flour that I don't know, it thrills me. It's very light. It's extremely light, and it's best when you make something using this flour, like cookies, let's say. It's better to weigh the flour as opposed to measuring it out in a measuring cup, because it is fluffy and light, and it keeps that fluffy light consistency. So for example, in this batch of cookies, it takes 84 grams of flour. Now, I didn't make them just chocolate chip. I use about a third of a cup of the Lancanto. I use the chocolate melting wafers because I don't have any chocolate chips left. Then I use about the same amount of the Lily's white baking chips, and about a third of a cup of the Lily's peanut butter flavor. So it's going to be a multi-flavored chocolate chip cookie. In addition to that, I have a peach cobbler that is that dump recipe in the oven right now. But what I'm going to do now is work on this fried chicken where you don't put any oil in the pan. Man, this stuff, I've tried it a couple times. The first time I tried it, I messed it up because I didn't use my Hexclad pan. That makes all the difference in the world. I used a ceramic pan, which was supposed to be, what do you call it? It was supposed to be non-stick, but it really didn't end up being non-stick. So probably the most important part of making this is to prep it up correctly. Now, what that means is what I do is I pull the bone out if it comes with a bone. Make sure it will lie relatively flat. Then you want the chicken to be very, very dry. So you wash it, you dry it with paper towels real well, and then you stick it in the refrigerator for, at least 3 hours, because you want it very cold and very dry. This is dry, but I just patted the tops off again with a paper towel. Now I'm going to season it, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start with a cold pan. You don't warm it up. Start with a cold pan, season the tops, flip it. You cook it for 10 minutes covered. Don't touch it. Don't move it around. Just leave it alone for 10 minutes on a medium-high heat. Then when the 10 minutes is over, you remove the cover and you let it go for another 10 minutes uncovered. Again, you don't touch it or flip it. Then when you have had 20 minutes worth of cook time, you flip it over. So that will now be on the bottom. Incidentally, the only reason it's skin side up when I'm showing this to you is because I want to season it with salt and pepper before I flip it over and cook it for that 20 minutes. Anyhow, then you flip it back and you cook for another 5 minutes and it's done. So I can't wait to show you how this turns out. Okay, I've seasoned it, turned it skin side down. Now I'm going to cover and cook this for 10 minutes. Okie dokie, here are the finished products. First, let's look at the chicken. Boy, this turns out beautifully. You don't put any oil in the pan. As long as you're using a non-stick pan like a Hexclad or some other that's similar, it's nice and crunchy on the outside. I'm going to link Cooking with Pam, I think it's called, or maybe Cooking at Pam's Place. Anyhow, I'm going to link the video where I found this recipe. So do check her out. Now, these are the cookies. They're all the same size, only because they had flattened out. You know how cookies will often flatten out and become irregular pancakes? I went ahead and used a cookie cutter and I cut them out of the centers of those. And then the little not burned, but the darker bits around the edges, I'll just, you know, put that in a plastic bag and eat those as cookies. So anyhow, so far so good. I really like how these things have the different flavors. I haven't eaten one yet. I'm gonna start by eating the edges that got cut off. So we're doing good. I've got the last batch of fried chicken in, and that apple cobbler's not looking so great. We'll take a look at that when it's more or less done. Well, it is the next day, and I sort of kept my kitchen in pretty good shape. I have some things I have to pick up, but my floor is clean, and I did my dishes more or less, so things are going well. See if I can get better light on the subject here. Get the best light for viewing the skin folds. There we go. And the lip that needs to be shorn. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so, God, this is so shaky. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can fix that. All right, so, yesterday was a triumph. Loved the movie. I got Gracie all squared away with her Social Security application, and I got her camera installed and working with her phone. It's the coolest Wi-Fi security camera thing, so cheap. I cannot believe how much progress has been made with those things in the past 10 years. Anyhow, so last night she found the culprit. She discovered who was eating all her cat's food, and it turned out it was a big old possum. So that made her feel better, because possums are wonderful things to have in your yard, and I think that she doesn't mind sharing that cat food with the possum. So that was cool. Came home, got a good night's sleep. I didn't have any plans really for today. I was just going to you know, go outside, maybe split some firewood, stuff like that. But my mind kept traveling to thoughts of my friend Doug, who is in rehab, and I knew he was going to be getting kicked loose. Rehab for an injury, a spinal injury, vertebrae that he broke. Anyhow, so I thought, man, I better call him and see what the deal is. Well, turns out they're kicking him loose right now. So I had no idea it was going to be today. And he said, well, you know, I've got an Uber ordered and it's horribly expensive, but it's no big deal. And I said, do you have anyone meeting you at your place? He said, no. I said, call Uber, cancel it. I will pick you up. I will take you to your place, and I will spend an hour, which is all the time I really have, to get you settled. We'll put fresh sheets on your bed. I'll sweep up the kitchen. I'll wipe down the counters. If there's anything that needs to be washed, you know, in the sink, I'll take care of that. We'll take an inventory of your food, see if there's anything you need. Now I'm going to bring him some of my food that I get at the food bank, because a lot of it is very, you know, it's just the basic stuff: rice, oatmeal, canned food, blah blah blah. So I'm going to load up some of that real quick, and maybe throw together some spaghetti or something before I leave, you know, just that kind of stuff. So, and then after I leave his place, I have to swing by, pick up meds at my pharmacy, and then I'm going to come back and do some stuff here. So anyway, that is my do good for the day. I'm going to go do good, and I'm also going to have fun. Why? Because I love to clean. So it is a win-win for me. Now, I need to make a comment. I know I'm sounding kind of smug about this do good, have fun thing. Like, oh, I do good all the time. And I'm bragging about it, which maybe, there's a little bit of that. But really what I'm doing is I'm reminding myself that I am doing good and I am having fun. I don't want to forget that I do this stuff, and I do it for myself. I mean, the people that are recipients of my do good, it's not so much I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for me because it builds up my inner core. And it also gives me a opportunity to stay clear in my head about how much good can I do before it starts to adversely affect me. So I'm staying accountable. Like, for example, I told Doug, you know what? I'm going to get you, I'm going to take you home. I'm going to spend 1 hour cleaning, and then I got to go. So that seemed like a real good boundary to draw. So that's part of why I'm doing this and reminding myself to do this. So that's it, and I will update you guys later. Okay, I've come to the end of my day, more or less. So my do good for the day was picking up my friend Doug from the rehab, as I showed you earlier, and getting him home and settled back into his place. We stopped at Subway, got a 12-inch sub sandwich, split it, and that was my lunch, my breakfast and my lunch. I will have some chicken for dinner tonight, or maybe some zucchini casserole. And well, I started the day actually with jumping on the scale, and I am now, drum roll, into the 220s. 229 this morning. Oh man, I haven't seen the 220s in 30 years? Nah, in about 21 years. So, I was feeling good. So anyhow, then I went to care of Doug. I didn't have a lot of time to spend with him, so I got him home. I laid out all his meds in the little med flippy thingy. Swept, made sure he had food, located the cat food, put clean sheets on his bed, and kind of got him situated that way. He is extremely tired and having a hard time tracking anything. A lot of brain fog. He's just not feeling well. And so I got on the phone and I called IHSS, In-Home Supportive Services. I don't know if it's called that in other parts of the country, but it's for elderly, low income, people that have mobility issues or disabilities that will last at least a year, and that he definitely qualifies for that. So I got him signed up. I also got a hold of somebody on the phone and just made sure that there wasn't anything else I should do. And that person said, yeah, you know what, is he on Medi-Cal? I said, I don't think so, which is like Medicaid for what we have here in California. And they said, well, you need to apply for that. So I did, or I will. I haven't done that yet. I'll probably do that tonight. And so I got him situated. Grant and I are going to drop by his place tomorrow. He didn't have any bed pillows, so I've got bed pillows kicking around here. I'll give him a couple of pillows, and I'll bring some cleaning supplies over. If he does get on the In-Home Supportive Services roster, then someone will come in once, maybe twice a week depending on what his needs are, and they'll do things like prepare food, clean out the refrigerator, make sure he's got his meds all lined up, make sure he can do activities of daily living, you know, that kind of stuff. Just kind of be there. He is he's having a real hard time with mobility right now. Recovering from cracking vertebrae at 70 some odd years old is, you know, that's quite a recovery. So did that. Then I got myself a Starbucks. That's why I'm zooming. I've had half a sandwich and Starbucks for food today, so I'm all energetic. And I printed out a pattern. I went to my the place I pick up my mail and picked up my mail and had them print a digital pattern for me for this super cool dress. I've been looking for a dress pattern that harkens back to dresses that I used to wear back in the mid 1980s, early to mid 1980s, when I was working as a respiratory therapist. Because back in the day, we didn't wear scrubs like people all do today in the medical field. We wore street clothes and a lab coat. So I often would wear just a simple dress and, you know, and a lab coat. And I was at Kmart one time, you know, looking, and I found a rack of dresses that looked like something out of the 1940s. They buttoned all the way up, or they buttoned, yeah, had a little elastic waist, puff sleeves, cute little collars, very 40s looking, in really neat, like 40s style floral prints. I just loved these dresses and I wish I'd kept them. Anyway, so I bought 3 of them and I wore them like all the freaking time. And so I've been looking, trying to find a dress pattern that has those elements, and I found one online. So I ordered it, I printed it out, and I'm going to make it up in some rayon that I have lying around and see how it fits, and then go from there. But I want to make 3 or 4 of these dresses. And so I love wearing dresses, and I just don't, you know, so I'm hoping to do that. And I'll incorporate a lot of the like antique laces and stuff that I've kept over the years. So I did that, and now I'm home and I'm talking to you and I'm telling you about my day. Day's not over. I've got a lot of things left I want to try to accomplish today. I haven't fed the horses yet, so the horses need a double dose of food today. And yeah, other than that, I'm feeling great. I hope you guys are too, and I will talk to you later. Bye.